What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic Tuesday afternoon so far. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm bringing you some breaking news surrounding the New York Mets, as the Mets today have signed one of their key free agents in the bullpen, as they have re-signed relief pitcher Adam Ottavino to a 2-year, $14.5 million deal with an opt-out after the 2023 season, which essentially means that the New York Mets signed Ottavino to a 1-year guaranteed deal for about $7.25 million, and then if he ends up opting into the second year of his deal, then the Mets will obviously give him the full $14.5 million. For a pitcher who actually had a pretty strong year for the New York Mets after coming over from the crosstown New York Yankees team. Ottavino actually had a 6-3 record overall in 66 games pitched with a 2.06 ERA. He pitched in 65.2 innings with 3 saves overall, and he had 79 strikeouts on the season, along with a .975 ERA, .975 WHIP overall. This is not a bad deal for a guy who you're counting on as being a key part of the back end of that bullpen, with the fact the Mets have already re-signed closer Edwin Diaz to a long-term deal, 5 years, $102 million, the largest in Major League Baseball history for a closer. And then obviously the New York Mets signed David Robertson, the very good relief pitcher who's been all over the place, including the New York Yankees, to a 1-year, $10 million deal the same day that the Mets brought back Brandon Nimmo on a long-term deal. But this does not hurt. You could take a chance on a guy like Adam Ottavino, who had a strong year last year, bring him back this year, see how he pitches, and if he's not effective, you let him go. You let him go after the season, and you take your chance on another relief pitcher going into the 2023 offseason. And if he has a good year, then you could see if you want to see if he can opt into his second year of his deal. So I think this is actually a very smart deal for the New York Mets, and the Mets have actually made it a big-time priority this offseason to upgrade the pitching staff on this team, namely the bullpen and obviously the starting rotation, as the Mets have already let go of Jacob deGrom, Chris Bassett, and Taijuan Walker. All three of them are gone. DeGrom signing with the Texas Rangers, Chris Bassett signing with the Toronto Blue Jays, and Taijuan Walker signing with the Philadelphia Phillies. And instead, the Mets have replaced those three pitchers with former Houston Astros / Detroit Tiger, as well as perennial Hall of Famer and last year winning the World Series, Justin Verlander. You also signed high-priced free agent from the Japanese Baseball League, who is a high-throwing flame ball pitcher in Kodai Senga, and then obviously the left-handed starter, Jose Quintana, who's been all over the place, including the Chicago White Sox, where he started his career, the Chicago Cubs, and then he had a pretty good season last year with the St. Louis Cardinals. So I am not opposed at all with what the Mets have done in the bullpen so far. And then obviously you look at the bullpen. I mean the starting rotation. Now you look at the bullpen. You bring back Ottavino. You bring back a guy like Diaz. You already have David Robertson. And now the Mets have also had interest in a free agent closer, Liam Hendriks. As the Mets look like they're trying to strengthen the back end of that bullpen, I think it's a lot to do because of the fact that the Mets know they have a lot of older starting pitchers, and Senga, who's 30, but he's never pitched in the major leagues before. So the Mets are trying to strengthen the back end of that bullpen just in case their starters can't go longer than 5 or 6 innings. So they figured, let us strengthen the back end of that bullpen, get some relief guys in there, just in case you might have a little bit of issues with the starters being able to go long games in this one. Obviously, with Verlander being about 40 years old. You also have the fact that you have Max Scherzer, who struggled last year with injuries. He's 39. Jose Quintana, who's had injury issues. He's 33. You have Kodai Senga, who is also coming back. He's 30, and he's never pitched in the major leagues. And then you have Carlos Carrasco, who right now, unless he gets traded, which there have been rumors going around that Carlos Carrasco could get traded in the offseason, he's also been a guy that has been rumored in trades all over the place. But he's also, for the fact that the Mets might decide, he's also 34, 35 years old. And then you have young David Peterson and Tyler McGill, who both have gotten banged up, and the Mets really don't know if they want to keep these guys in the bullpen or if they want to turn these guys into starters, or mainly maybe if they want to turn them into spot starters. Who really knows? Either way, the New York Mets are trying to do everything they can possible to strengthen the bullpen for this team, heading into the 2023 Major League Baseball season, because they know the fact that their starting pitchers are up there in age, and these guys have had shown issues of breaking down during the season. They're not able to pitch the full innings as they used to before. So the Mets are figuring, let's reinforce the back end of that bullpen and get as many guys in there that can give us at least multiple innings, and it can help close out games, which I actually appreciate, and I like this strategy that the New York Mets are doing in terms of the bullpen. We'll have to wait and see what big-time move the New York Mets are going to make next, but they've already re-signed. They've re-signed Ottavino. They've re-signed Nimmo. They've re-signed Edwin Diaz. They've picked up the option on Daniel Vogelbach. They brought back Daniel Ruff. You've already signed Kodai Senga, David Robertson, Jose Quintana, Justin Verlander. Now you have to wonder, are the New York Mets done when it comes to their bullpen, or is this team now going to start looking to try to strengthen up their lineup, as there's been talks before with Trey Mancini, who's getting some looks now from the Baltimore Orioles, who he just played with last year. He's getting some looks with the Chicago White Sox, the Toronto Blue Jays. Of course, you were interested in J.D. Martinez, but he just recently signed a one-year deal with the Los Angeles Dodgers, as well as the New York Mets might be interested in a potential reunion with outfielder Michael Conforto, who did not play last year due to shoulder surgery. And there's a lot of teams right now that are interested in the former New York Mets top prospect. So I'll have to wait and see what the New York Mets are going to do next. But either way, the Mets have brought back Adam Ottavino, reliever Adam Ottavino, for a 2-year, $14.5 million deal with an opt-out after the 2023 Major League Baseball season. So essentially, it's a 1-year guaranteed deal for $7.25 million and a potential 2-year deal if, in fact, Ottavino has a good year next year and the New York Mets decide to re-sign him and keep him for that second year of this 2-year deal. So if you guys like this video, please hit the like button below. Sub up if you haven't already to NYGJeffyT85 for more breaking news, updates, chatter, and free agency updates around the New York Mets. Turn on the bell for notifications on the next video or short that's going to be dropping on the channel surrounding the New York Mets. And let me know in the comment section, Mets fans, baseball fans, everybody, what you guys think about the New York Mets re-signing relief pitcher Adam Ottavino to a 2-year, $14.5 million deal. If you guys think this is a smart deal by the New York Mets, if you think it's a little bit too much money for a guy, or if you think this guy is going to end up backing up the year that he had last year with the New York Mets and make it 2 years in a row, and they're going to guarantee that second year in 2023 going forward. So I thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your Tuesday overall. Take it easy, and let's go, New York Mets. All you got to do is you got to believe in those boys from Queens.